Welcome to episode number 12 of Take 47 podcast. And I'm going to be talking about obviously the big Musk and Trump feud that's been going on these past few days. But before I get to that, I have like three other topics I want to talk about, or at least two. Talking like regarding other issues that have also been in the news, but obviously less talked about because everybody's focused on the Trump and Musk breakup, and the this whole video was supposed to come out Friday, but I didn't feel very satisfied with the video I made yesterday, so I'm recording this today and trying to upload today, preferably early, hopefully, and yeah. So let's just get straight into the topics. So the first thing that I want to talk about are that the jobs have increased. The expected increase in jobs was about 130,000, but we got to 139,000, so we beat it by like 9,000 jobs. And people have been obviously depends like what news outlets you watch, of course, but people have been comparing the Trump for the month of May, the Trump versus Biden like job increase, and obviously Biden had higher numbers in some years, but those were kind of outliers because you also have to take in mind that COVID happened, and all those were really just bounce back jobs by people who had lost their jobs because they couldn't work because of COVID, or they were getting checks to their houses for unemployment, or they were also just fired because they refused to get the vaccine. And all those people, started to obviously find jobs after some time. They were forced to just find a job, and all those were really just bounce back jobs. There obviously were some, like true additions of workers in those numbers, but they were also kind of inflated. So, I mean, I'd say by like 2024, under the Biden administration, those are probably the closest numbers to the truth. And then I mean, this year it's really skyrocketed. The Biden administration had like pretty low goals at some points, and I mean they weren't even hitting the goals. They were like halfway, and they were, I mean, about like 50K, and they were hitting like 29. Um, but yeah, they were not hitting very high numbers. They weren't meeting their goals, and I mean now I mean it's a lot of jobs in 1 month, the month of May, and the this is also like thanks to tariffs, and of course this is gonna have a bigger impact the longer it runs. So the tariffs are not only gonna make other companies come to the U.S. to manufacture things, but obviously they're also creating some revenue and some leverage for negotiations. But the one of the main aspects of the tariffs, which Trump has mentioned, is that this will bring more jobs to America, and move from China and India back into the U.S. because although it's going to be more expensive to fabricate things here, um, all these other companies are going to get more. They're going to have to pay more to their employees, but they're just going to sell the products at a higher price, so they're not actually losing all that much. And certain things like iPhones, like they could be like $2,000, and the newest iPhone could be like $2,000, but people are still going to buy it. It's really not about the price. It's really about the item, at least for certain things. But iPhones are surely one of them, and really technology and a few of those things are really the main things that are gonna go up in price because they're gonna be manufactured here. And same thing with cars, but I believe Trump is gonna give like a tax or interest cut, interest reduction for people who are buying cars with loans as long as those cars are made in the U.S., which is again another very big help to our markets, to the car market. And yeah, so other than that, the economy is doing pretty well, I would say. The gas prices are also down. And yeah, but other than that, the Chinese Communist Party, or the CCP as most people know it, two people from China, a couple, like two people in a relationship, tried to smuggle a pathogen, and this happened last year, in July of last year. And we're hearing about this now because the administration that was in power just didn't say anything. Of course, there are questions as to why they didn't say anything. I'm also kind of curious as to why. But the main thing about this pathogen is that it targets our food supply. So, and this is the thing. This is the disease pathogen that's already, it's like worldwide. But of course, if they bring it here, it would cause damage to like specifically the U.S. But this pathogen has like causes like billions of dollars worth of losses like worldwide. And obviously, if something like that were to happen to the U.S. food supply, that wouldn't be good. And I mean, this happened last year, so this doesn't really have to do at all with like the Trump administration or trade war. Um, of course, but this isn't the first time that China's used like biological weapons, whether it may be to like target our food supply or our population, like they did with COVID, and I mean so many other viruses. But yeah, these two Chinese nationalists were arrested, and I believe they were going to take the pathogen to Michigan University to like study it there and mess with it in that university. But they were arrested at the airport at Michigan, at an airport in Michigan. I don't recall the name of the exact airport. But yeah, the like all this came up like 3 days ago. Everybody started talking about that, and it's again kind of weird that we just didn't hear about it like as soon as it happened, or maybe even like a week later would have been like reasonable ish. And so many things are hidden under the Biden administration that will probably come out under Trump's term. At least either things like this or greater things. And yeah, so other than that, the Senate is now the one that's left to pass or vote on the big beautiful bill that President Trump is trying to pass. That would be the signature legislation for his second term. And the House already passed it with a pretty slim majority. We have a very small majority in the House. In the Senate, it's a little bigger, and there's a little bit more wiggle room. And this is going to really just help passing this whole bill, because it's very complex, and there's many people that are against the bill because it increases the spending of the government and the deficit. It wouldn't necessarily increase spending; it would just kind of cut their revenue. So it would still move the deficit a little higher over time. But if we're being honest, that was going to happen anyway. And they also said the same thing about the 2017 Trump tax cuts, and they ended up paying for themselves. The economy was booming, prices were down, and we were destroying China in a trade war, which we were winning very effectively. Of course, this time it's a little bit harder, and the force, the strategies that the Trump administration is using this time are not the same as they were using last time. And of course, it's a little bit tougher to deal with because COVID already happened, and the Trump administration also has to deal with all the mess that Biden did. Of course, Obama's economy was pretty decent. It was pretty good, but the one that Biden left behind is terrible. So Trump has to deal with Russia, China, Iran, or Iran, whatever you call it, and then he also has to deal with the our own government and our own people. Which, I mean, it's very busy president that we have. Of course, so many other countries hate us, and then we also have to deal with Ukraine and Europe and BRICS and all these other organizations that are trying to take us down. Um, and we have a very busy president. Of course, the Trump administration is very hard at work, which is something that we're pretty thankful for. That we no longer have a president that takes off like 2 to 3 weeks on the beach. Something that Biden did very frequently. And of course, he used the auto pen to sign many things. But if, most of those things probably weren't authorized by the president himself. And, like, so many things that we'll never actually know what was actually signed by Biden and what wasn't. Of course, there are a few things that we will know because the signatures are, like, perfectly identical. And obviously that's very, very hard to replicate a human doing that. And the auto pen has been used a few times, and the Trump administration used it once, like only one time in Trump's first term, and that was because President Trump was in California, I believe, in like 2019 for some fires, and he used that auto pen to, like, I believe either give funding or something else, but it wasn't anything like major impact or any pardons or any very big legislation that was passed by the Trump admin. It was something pretty minor, and it was, I believe, to help California with those fires. And yeah, like, all this spending is kind of getting out of hand. So there's obviously a few senators that are kind of pointing that out. Obviously, some representatives are also pointing this out. But we never really will know until we pass the bill how everything's going to look. And also just time has to tell. And then we also have to work with the all these tariffs and trade negotiations, see how everything actually turns out after all this, and see the real impact of the bill. But yeah, let's talk about, like, the actual bill itself and what's going on in the Senate with the bill. So the bill includes reallocation of money to the U.S. military. If the bill gets passed, the U.S. military will have a $1 trillion budget, which is crazier than the current $856 billion budget, I believe. And I mean, yeah, it's very crazy what we're spending on the military. Of course, it's a good thing to, have peace through strength. Something that Trump believes in very, very strongly. Also, Reagan believed that. And it's a very, essential thing to have some deterrence against other countries. To avoid wars and be able to defend ourselves if like, really needed. I doubt anybody would try to invade us or attack us. It'd be a very dumb thing to do. But this bill also includes reallocation of money for like deportations and, moving all these illegal aliens out of the country. It's got some cuts to, I believe it's Medicaid. And it's really just taking away Medicaid from, like, able grown-bodied men who can work perfectly fine. It's also, like, taking it away from people that are not low income that for some reason have it. And the main thing from this whole takeaway or cuts to Medicaid is that the illegal aliens which are many, that are receiving this help from the government are gonna get their Medicaid taken away because they should not be receiving it. Medicaid and many government programs are specifically only for U.S. citizens, and they're made for a certain purpose. And if you exploit them, they're not going to work very effectively or efficiently. So it also includes obviously the main thing that everybody's talking about and is causing lots of conflict is causing lots of conflict between our own party is the tax cuts, which would extend the 2017 tax cuts, and it would also prevent a 68% hike in taxes if the bill doesn't pass. That's what would happen, and it would be pretty devastating. Of course, this is not great if the bill doesn't pass through. But the Senate is figuring out like a way to pass like the most important part, which are arguably the tax cuts, and they're trying to separate the tax cuts from the rest of the bill, like all the other cuts and reallocation of money, and this is a very smart way to do it, I guess. I believe Senate Majority Leader, and also Senator John Thune proposed this idea, and we're gonna try and like get the tax cuts passed as soon as possible, and the rest of the bill can wait a little bit longer. It's not super like urgent. We just want the tax cuts to be passed ASAP, and then we can reform and rework the rest of the bill for as long as needed. We obviously don't want to like extend it all that much because we do want this legislation passed for the rest of the other things. And the main topic about this video, which is going to last about like half the video, is obviously the Trump and Musk feud or breakup, whatever you want to call it. And first of all, I just have to say that most people saw this coming. This duo wasn't going to last forever, obviously. Two very powerful men, one with the richest man in the world versus the most powerful one. And it's a very conflicting duo, and it's not very sustainable for so long. And obviously this all broke out a few days ago, and it all started really a little bit longer before a few days ago, and to be specific, by a few days ago I mean like Thursday. And yeah, Thursday, it broke out Thursday. And it all started with Elon Musk calling this big beautiful bill, the signature legislation for the Trump admin, a disgusting abomination. And the Trump admin, Trump specifically, during the meeting with the German chancellor on Thursday, I believe, talked he was asked questions about that by the reporters. And again, it's kind of annoying that you invite somebody to the White House, like a German chancellor or a prime minister or a president or whatever, a representative of a country, and you ask questions that are completely unrelated to the country. And it's kind of annoying every time that happens, and it happens like 90% of the time. Usually there's about like one question or two questions that are directed at the guest at the White House, which honestly I do wish that we could see more of. But yeah, the Trump said that the criticism made by Elon Musk, that he's not very happy about it. He's somewhat disappointed, and that that Trump and the Trump admin helped Elon Musk out a lot, and they really did lots of contracts and things that helped Elon boost his companies. Obviously, they also took a hit because of Doge. Some people didn't like that, and they just decided to stop purchasing and start vandalizing his Teslas and his companies. Um, Obviously, that's not justifiable, like no matter what side he's on. And the main takeaway about this first response by Trump is, after he said all that I just said, he attached that Elon Musk would most likely like go after him. That would probably be like the next step or the next thing. And I mean, yeah, he was right about that. Not surprisingly, he's right about honestly a lot of things. Uh, that actually kind of calls to mind like a clip from Trump's like campaign in like 2015, 2016, the first time he was running for president, where he was like sweating in a room because it was like really hot, and he's like, the press is gonna report this, and they're just gonna say that he's not well. And I mean, in less than like 24 hours, they were reporting, like specifically saying those words, and it's kind of crazy. All the things that he's predicted so far. But I mean, yeah, obviously we didn't want to see this breakup happen. But yeah, let's keep on talking about like the details of this. And Musk later that day went with some more personal attacks, with obviously targeting the bill, and retweeting old Trump posts, old Trump posts from like 2013, where Trump was talking about the deficit and the spending, that it was getting out of control, arguing against like senators and whatnot, that the debt like ceiling was raised, and they weren't very happy about this. Well, he wasn't very happy about this, and then Elon Musk decided to like retweet those old posts from President Trump, and this caused a later response, where Trump responded by saying that a good way to save billions and billions of dollars would be to cut lots of government contracts and subsidies with Musk and his companies, which honestly would also be a pretty big blow. Also, just like a little side note, the Tesla stock fell by like 14%. And I mean, in one day, that's a very bad day. I believe, like, even on like Liberation Day, when the tariffs were imposed, I don't think any major company fell by like 14%. That's a pretty big fall. I mean, this happened in like a period of hours. And yeah, so after Trump said that, Musk responded by saying that he would decommission the Dragon spacecraft, and obviously it's a very vital spacecraft to the NASA. This is the spacecraft that we use to get those true astronauts who were stranded in space back to Earth, and we also just use it to like transport astronauts back and forth through space, from Earth to the ISS. And if he were to decommission this spacecraft, we would have to pay Russia to like transport us to the ISS on their Soyuz spacecraft. I really don't know how to pronounce that, and that's as well as I can probably pronounce it. We would have to pay them about $80 to $90 million per seat. The price fluctuates and really depends, but we would have to pay about $90 million per seat to get our astronauts to the ISS and back. And obviously, we don't want to give money to one of our biggest geopolitical adversaries. And the Trump admin knows this well, and Elon Musk eventually just responded and said he responded to a tweet by somebody else. I believe it was Bill Ackman. I'm not 100% sure. He's responded to like a few tweets of other like billionaires who were trying to like keep this whole argument behind closed doors or to just end it effectively. And he responded that he would not decommission the spacecraft, which was a pretty big breath of like fresh air to the NASA and also like the U.S. government. And so again, another like side note, this is a very big thing that's going on. Many people are commenting it, like millions are seeing this in the U.S. and worldwide. This is a very, very big scale thing. And we've had Steve Bannon talk about this on War Room. That's his podcast or his show. And we've had other celebrities and whatnot. And out of like all the celebrities that you would expect to comment for peace and some common sense and some reason, Kanye West was actually I'll try to like show the post if I do find it, from X, trying to like keep both of them together, which is kind of funny considering what Kanye has been doing these past few months, really like almost a year. Yeah, it's a very crazy thing that's going on. But the Trump admin, the Tesla that they bought to help Elon Musk about a month ago when Tesla stocks were falling, they bought a Tesla to like show support. Now they're selling that Tesla or giving it away. They still haven't decided what they're going to actually do with that Tesla. And this is, again, a little like smaller hit to Musk, although it's not really a hit. He already got the money for the Tesla. And by the way, this was bought by Trump's like personal own money. The government didn't use its money to buy this. I know some people would be kind of upset with that. And I mean, it's kind of understandable. I do understand why. And yeah, so other than that, really not much has happened. Elon Musk has calmed down. I believe he offered a phone call. And I mean, all these news outlets were talking about a phone call yesterday. They reported that they were going to have a phone call, and it turns out that was all fake. But now Elon Musk has said that like he wants a phone call with President Trump to like ease down tensions, but it seems like Trump just isn't going to respond to that phone call, and because he's too busy dealing with, again, Russia, China, Iran, and trade and so many things like worldwide. But yeah, the whole like biggest thing about this whole scandal argument, whatever you won't call it, is that Elon Musk obviously accused Trump of being on the Epstein files. Which let's be serious here. I don't think anybody genuinely believes that. Maybe some crazy Democrats believe that because they hate Trump so much. Although there's really no evidence. There's just some photos and videos of Trump with Jeffrey Epstein in like 1992. And when, this whole Jeffrey Epstein thing came out to the light in like 10 years ago, Trump and Epstein just separated. Trump was like one of the only people who did help prosecute Epstein. And he banned him from like all of his properties and just fully distanced himself away from Epstein, which is a good thing. Obviously, a very good decision to make. And let's be honest, if Trump was really on the Epstein files, the Democrats would have released that so long ago, and that would have just been annihilating to Trump's political career. And I mean, yeah, I really doubt that. I'm like 100% sure that he's not on there. But I mean, yeah, just let me know what you think about this whole like feud. who's right? Should we really limit the government spending, or what should we do? Let me know down below in the comments. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and thanks for watching.